Hey Scorpio, it's Mary. This is your weekly tarot for October 16th through the 23rd. Hope you're doing well. Today, I just thought we would kind of play it by ear and see what needs to come out. Just kind of letting the cards tell the story this week. Sometimes if the story doesn't resonate, it will later. It's kind of weird how that happens. So sometimes I remember readings that like general readings that I listen to. And I thought, no. And then I realized that that kind of was talking to me, so it's interesting how that works. Sometimes we don't realize it at the time. I don't know why I'm saying that with you. I do have openings for readings. If you are, I think you might be interested. They start at $22.22, and you can just go to my website, and you can book a reading there. Okay. All right. Here we go. We have the Chariot. Chariot means, well, forward movement. The world speaks of a cycle that looks like it is being completed. A cycle that is being completed. Beautiful cards. Ten of Wands. Looks like the burden is being released. So Scorpio, this could be you, or it could be for the other party. This could resonate all or in part, because it is a general reading. Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is about, it can talk about being conservative and protecting, being overprotective, protective, or careful, building a foundation, saving, being careful what you spend. Depends on the content and the other cards. The Moon reverse talks about, well, for me it talks about maybe secrets, that trauma that may still be kind of running the show. We talk about ways of avoiding feelings that originate from trauma. Okay. All right. Two of Swords reverse says, well, somebody's made a decision, and that's good. Always good when a decision is made. Well, depends, I guess, on the decision. I hear you. Okay. So the Chariot, let's look at the Chariot. We have the Page of Cups. So it looks like somebody may be moving forward with an apology or an offer of love or emotions. I mean, maybe they want to tell somebody how they feel. And then I have the Nine of Wands, reverse. And that kind of speaks to, well, when Nine of Wands is reversed, it's kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to continue this fight. I'm not sure if I can fight somebody else's battles. And in it, this person's been to war a lot and has been beaten up. And they're just not sure if they want to go down this road. Even though they may want to apologize. Maybe they're not sure what it's going to lead to either. Or that the other party will be willing to move forward. But it does look like the page does want to move forward, Scorpio. So, and the page is a water sign too. Page of Cups is water. Cups is, it could be Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. So, because, so we had the Ten of Cups reversed because it looks like that previously, well, don't know if it's possible to create happiness again because things haven't been. Well, it doesn't look like they've been too good. When Ten of Cups is reversed, it's not in a happy place. So something happened here. So, but then we have the World, and that looks like it's the end of that cycle, right? You have the Eight of Pentacles, and somebody's saying here, yeah, I do want to master this part of my life. I do want to master my life. And maybe this last lesson brought somebody into the place of mastery of their life or situation. To the Eight of Cups. somebody did walk away from something that was emotionally unfulfilling. That could have been the Ten of Cups situation, the unhappy home, that they don't know if they want to fight anymore in that situation. Moving forward, so could be moving forward away from that. So, all right. We have the, you know, and it kind of unveils itself. So sometimes it does switch a little bit from the beginning of the reading, as you probably know. So the King of Pentacles here now, this is coming into our own power. Somebody being in, this is somebody that is like the perfect husband, father, provider, stable, loyal. Yeah, he's a good king when he's upright. So maybe that's what you're working towards, Scorpio, or maybe this is somebody that you're moving towards. Okay. All right, so now we have the Ten of Wands. So this is about releasing the burden and moving on. Once you integrate the lessons and learn the lessons, you can go forward as a fool. So this is when you leave your baggage behind because you've dealt with it. Two of Wands says, get another one here. Six of Pentacles. In the past, maybe you didn't, the best path wasn't chosen. But there's something here about wanting to have reciprocity in your relationships. You want to make sure that you're choosing. That you're moving forward with hope, but you're going to be careful that you have reciprocity, and it's bringing and receiving that in your relationships. One more. Hierophant reverse talks about not doing things the way society tells us to do them. It's also a little bit of a warning to make sure you're following your guidance, spiritual guidance, okay? And not just ego. See, there's like the two systems. There's one ego that's self-serving, and it's still part of the old matrix kind of system. And then there's another one that's spiritual, that is it's a much softer and flowy energy than I would never do that, or I'm not going to put up with that. I'm not saying you say that, but there's an example. Go with the flow, everything works out, or I'm not putting up with that. You know what I mean? It's a resistant energy over here. And what resists persists, you know. So, okay, so now we're looking at the Four of Pentacles, wanting to rebuild, wanting to be kind of protective, wanting to make sure you know what's going on around you. And it does have something to do with this Three of Swords, this heartbreak, you know, heartbreak, heart pain. So we have the King of Swords here. So this is somebody, and it's reversed. So this is somebody that's highly manipulating. They can be educated, or they can act like they know it all. And manipulating words can be abusive. Okay. But it can also be somebody trying to protect what's theirs. So sometimes we can flip, and Scorpio, it would be understanding if sometimes we flip to hold our ground and to make sure we're safe. So we say, you know, everybody has those moments where they say things to stop or to change what's going on. And sometimes it is necessary. Let's get another card there. Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles reverse is about somebody that could be an earth sign, because it is earth energy. A single... Okay, let me just give you the definition reverse for me as a reader. Somebody who's not really good with money. Female, typically it would be a female, single, that they could be not employed, they could be, they're not very good at taking care of themselves. I mean, could be situational, you know, that's a little bit harder to see. So maybe it could be protecting against that kind of energy, somebody taking advantage. And this is something to be careful of, and this is about protecting that kind of energy moving forward. Because if you don't, then this is the Judgment card. In reverse, the cycle can repeat itself. So although you finish the cycle here, oh, whoops, wrong one. Here, and it was walked away from, somebody walked away from that kind of, from unhappy energy, unhappy home, was creating an unhappy home, and the burdens. This is a warning to make sure that you protect yourself against that kind of energy, and to identify it when it comes. And if you have to manipulate to cut it off, then just stop, stop it in its tracks. But not in a abusive way. So be careful with that. Let me get one more card. This is no, okay, this is the 9 of Wands. So it's kind of like no communication, or there will be no forward movement if this is allowed to go on, if the lesson isn't learned. So I don't know if you have people that trigger you in a bad way. Some people that, because emotional pain. So just be careful, because you are responsible for how you show up, how you respond. And we need to remember to get back to the soft energy, not the ego energy, okay? It doesn't serve anybody, especially not you, because it's just not, it's, the confrontations aren't worth it. But it still can be said how you think, how you feel, and it's really important, but without the anger, and without the getting even. Okay, a lot of us don't mean to hurt each other, but we have to be we don't have to be anything. But if we're going to heal everyone's going to heal together. We need to say, that really hurts my feelings. It makes, when you say that, it hurts my feelings. We need to be accountable for how we feel and how we allow others to trigger us. How do we expect them to do the right thing when they don't know how we feel and what bothers us if we don't speak up? That's for somebody in particular, okay? So we have the moon. This is about being triggered by trauma and maybe using old behaviors or addictions to avoid the pain when it's triggered, okay? This would be something that's still running us. And that's been possibly below the surface quite a bit. And this also gets us in the place of lack. This is where our lack mentality comes from sometimes. It comes from a few places, but they're kind of zoning in on this right now. So, okay. The lack mentality, if we can look at it a different way, when you're triggered, it's an opportunity to change it. Even if you react or in your old way and you go, okay, it's a trigger, what's going on here? Okay, and I know it's hard to remember to stop and think about it, but now that I said that, maybe it'll be easier to remember. That's one of my biggest things about change, is because my mind goes so fast and I forget to remember to change. You see, it's so easy when we're on autopilot though, right? Okay, so now we have the 7 of Wands. This is standing your ground and defending what you believe in. Are you willing to fight for it? Are you willing to defend your happiness? There's people's feelings, Scorpio. This may be digging deep for you because Mercury is going in retrograde into Scorpio. I don't know, but if you got stuff that you need to dig out and clean up in your subconscious, it might be coming forward for you to deal with. So I think you need to decide, well, you don't need to do anything again, but sometimes it's good to decide what you're willing to fight for. And most of all, it needs to be you. Your turn to put yourself first in that good flowy way, in a happiness way. What, if there's things that people say to you that hurts you, say, and it's time to speak up and say, you know what, that really hurts my feelings when you say that to me. I feel like my feelings don't matter to people, and I'm ready to defend them now. And people may get upset, but it's time that they saw that you're not a doormat until you just cut them off. So maybe it's best to speak up now. We all need to do that, including me. So, Ten of Swords. So the last one was deciding what you're willing to defend, okay? Stand your ground. And then this is Ten of Swords, because this talks about betrayal and pain. Okay? As a Ten of Swords, his swords are all in this guy's back, and he's on the ground, dead. So, it's the end of the cycle of pain, and this is how we get to heal it, by dealing with what caused it. And if those people are people in our lives and we try to tell them and they don't listen, then we need to decide. But all people need a chance. I think if they're worth it. You have to decide if they're worth it. Whoever this is about. You know, there's different groups of people here. One more. The Magician says, I am a co-creator in my life. And the way I show up and react to people, respond to people, the way I walk and talk and believe in myself makes a difference. And it is true. It is true. So, you hold the power of change in your hands and creation. Co-creating with the universe, co-creating with others. I think sometimes people don't talk, they just don't know how to. And it's time we learned. And stop isolating everybody. Okay, so now we're looking at the Two of Swords. This is making a decision. It's a difficult decision, but it's a decision. Usually swords speak of information and truth, okay? Four of Cups. And it's like a truth, which path to go, which way to go, right? Because it's two. It's two. Four of Cups says, this is about overlooking what's been in front of us the whole time. So the question is, the answer to which path to take has been in front of you possibly the whole time. What was it you were missing? Here's another four. That's 3 fours at least. The 3 fours. Four is about stability. It's time to rebuild your foundation, right? Everything that you believe in is it may be getting shifted. The time that you spend away from other people or healing. I don't know if you were been ill lately or rehab or just separated from your family. The question is, what did we learn? What did we learn? I see that's sword, so that's truth. And let me show you something else too. The 3 of Swords, which is the Heartbreak, is laying right over him. That's the same 3 right here. Let's see, and get a good... Why that? See? Okay. So that's healing that heartbreak here in the time out, the time away from whatever the situation was, to regroup, to heal. Okay? Next card is the Knight of Cups. This is good to see. This is moving forward, believing in love again, believing in offering your cup to others, believing that you can love others and communicate with others, and that's really good, really, really good for you, Scorpio. Do one more here. I have the Page of Pentacles. So reverse the Page of Pentacles. Well, it's kind of that. It's a little bit of a warning or a reminder that all people do not have an ulterior motive. But you will need to keep an eye on that, because if that's something that popped up a lot, it will keep popping up until you said no enough times. That the universe understands that, oh yeah, she doesn't want that anymore. He doesn't want that anymore. Let's stop sending them that. Let's send him something different. It takes a while for the vibration to catch up to the changes that you've incorporated in your life. Does that make sense? So the old energy of people bringing you, wanting to hang out because of what you have or what they want to use of yours, or, that old using mentality will go away. So I want you to know that things are changing, but it starts within us. You see, that's what being a magician is all about. And we need to stop the negative thinking. If we keep thinking all people are jerks, then we will get all people as jerks. If we think, well, changing my vibration, because I'm the magician, the way I show up, it really has a lot to do with what happens and what is brought to me. So if I show up saying, I got this, no matter what comes near me, no matter what comes, I'm going to see what it is. I'm going to vet it. I'm going to know because, well, as a water sign and Scorpio, you're incredibly intuitive. Not only that, you should have a view into that darker side of people because, you know, you're the underworld. You represent the underworld and death and rebirth. And you're driven by those primal forces like sex. I mean, that's one of the major themes with Scorpio, you know. So Scorpio, I hope that helped. We're at 21 minutes. We'll do a few Amente cards. I think. Let's find them. There is progress. Progress is good. Progress is good. And so, you may find that some stuff's coming up from your past that needs to be looked at. It's coming for all of us, but because it's going to be in Mercury is going to be retrograde in Scorpio, you may have more than, it might knock you a little bit sideways, so. Okay, so we have, I benefit with gratitude, and that's beautiful because that's, remember to be thankful. When we're thankful, thank you for my house, thank you for my children, thank you for my cereal, my beautiful, wonderful, tasty cereal. Thank you for my puppies and kitties. Thank you that I'm alive. Thank you that I can breathe. You know, gratitude takes you from the place of lack into the place of, well, abundance. And that's when we're able to create and bring good things to us when we're in the place of abundance. I create with harmony. There you go. Create. I love when that happens. I affirm that all life is sacred. All life is sacred. Even those lives we don't agree with. If we want to be respected, we need to respect all others, period. And be reminded that that's what makes life interesting, is the good and the bad, the up and the down. Hi, kitty. And the kitties and puppies. Have a great week. Love you guys.